Getting to the end of the Martin Bryant case, looking ahead to more Tavistock. In the back of my mind, I've got this Luigi Mangione situation, evaluating in this context in a very different kind of manifestation, but wondering if it emanates from, because Tavistock is connected directly to the Committee of 300 in the heart of Europe in Geneva, largely those Genevan bankers, the heart of which, the core, the ancient ones from the Venetian Fondi, perhaps they've declared war on these upstart CEOs because they've gotten out of line. That's what I'm thinking. And also their plans to demolish the United States still working away. Those gears are working away. Don't know what to make of the resurrection of Trump, where this is going, and I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I don't think any of this is going to work. I think that they decided that the United States had to be brought down, and they've been working on it since late 60s, early 70s, and perhaps Luigi Mangione is an element of that. And so that's happened since I did the last video, the last installment on this. So let's get in. This is going to be a short one. Most of you probably know about the Monarch Project, that funnels the young men, the disturbed young men, into acts of terror and violence, or patsydom, and the women into largely sex work, sexual spies, like Kathy O'Brien, right? So let's get into this. The Monarch Project. The Tavistock-sponsored form of blind terror, of which Bryant is an example, has the great advantage to its authors that its programmed zombies almost invariably kill themselves or are killed during the course of the events, leaving little or no evidence. Quote, one of the essential elements is that they are looking to kill and be killed, as Mullen put it. Bryant stated that he was sure he would be killed, though he has not yet killed himself in prison. Despite 2 attempts, prison authorities have publicly stated that they expect a fellow inmate to kill him. Was Bryant programmed? Perhaps hardcore programming was not necessary. Given his psychological makeup, it may have been sufficient to just steer him. But he did show signs of one known form of Tavistock brainwashing in which individuals can be programmed to kill and then to kill themselves as a subroutine of Tavistock's MK Ultra known as the Monarch Project. The best documentation on Monarch, although still sketchy, is provided in the 2nd edition of former Nebraska State Senator John DeCamp's book, The Franklin Cover-Up, Child Abuse, Satanism, and Murder in Nebraska. One of DeCamp's clients, child abuse victim Paul Bonacci, was a Monarch trainee and has described in detail, not all of which DeCamp records in his book, some of the processes involved. These are much more sophisticated than the average psychiatrist is equipped either to recognize or to treat. Monarch, or related conditioning, leaves certain telltale signs in its victims. 1. Multiple personality disorder, MPD. 2. Bizarre sexual behavior. And 3. Frequently, involvement in satanic cult activity. The normal healthy personality could not be programmed without going through degrading conditioning which involved or resulted in the above. Bryant did show signs of MPD, a disorder in which anywhere from 2 to over 100 distinct personalities are present in the same individual. A neighbor, John Featherstone, told the New Citizen, Bryant had at least 3 or 4 very distinct personalities. One I would call the surfer personality, in which Bryant used to dress in surfer-type clothes and put a surfboard on top of his car, even though everyone knew he never surfed. Then there's the cool and calm personality, Jamie, who spoke with police during the siege at the Seascape Cottage, and who was strikingly different in demeanor, even in voice, than Bryant's usual self. The, quote, occasional sudden switches in the direction of Mr. Bryant's discourse, unquote, which Mullen recorded are also characteristic of MPD as different personalities emerge. Bryant's interviews with police after the slaughter, in which he denied that he had ever been at Port Arthur and seemed genuinely astonished at the charges against him, are also consistent with MPD. The great usefulness of MPD for Tavistock controllers. God, so evil. So evil to split a person like this, and then just to do that, and then to turn them or to direct them to do these evil things, is that different personalities whose existence is not even known to the main personality may be programmed to carry out distinct tasks, but unless those personalities are later accessed, the main personality will only have fragmentary idea, if any at all, of what has happened. As for the bizarre sexual behavior, besides the pornographic videos Bryant brought back to Australia depicting bestiality, he was known for sleeping with a pig in his room. Satanic activity has not been reported. It rarely is in such cases, but his favorite video was reported to be Child's Play 2, in which a doll comes to life and goes around slaughtering people. On November 22, 1996, Bryant was sentenced to 35 terms of life imprisonment and to 21 years each on 37 other charges, the terms to run consecutively and without parole. He originally pled not guilty to 72 counts of murder and mayhem. With a new lawyer and under pressure, he changed that to guilty, which ensured there would be no trial. Indeed, as Mullen stated at the outset of his psychiatric report for Bryant's new lawyer, this report is intended to clarify for the court why an insanity plea was not considered appropriate. As one police source expostulated, "That's wild. If Bryant is not insane, who is?" However, the decision to find Bryant sane, together with his sudden change of mind to plead guilty, is of enormous benefit to those who want to make sure the truth never comes out. Under Australia's law, if Bryant were found insane, then he would be monitored and periodically reevaluated to see if he regained his sanity. Were he to do so, he would then be put on trial, and some more of Tavistock's handiwork would undoubtedly be exposed to the light of day. Extraordinary. And then we have some further reading. There's lots of videos on this case on YouTube, and I encourage people to go into it and to see if they can find traces of the Tavistock influence in some of these, even some of the mainstream videos coming from mainstream outlets. Particularly pay attention though to these if you want really to learn more from EIR here. The Tavistock psychiatrists behind the rape of Bosnia, British psychiatry from eugenics to assassination, Tavistock's Imperial Brainwashing Project, okay, we've read that, the media cartel that controls what you think. And of course, in the end, we have to bring it all back around. We look at Martin Bryant, and to some extent, when we look around at society, everyone who's being manipulated, who, especially those who are unaware that manipulation is going on at all, we're all Tavistock experiments. I talk about, or I have on different podcasts, how I certainly felt that I had been brainwashed, and I came to Mongolia, and it was at that point, I think, because it's such a dramatic move from New York to Mongolia and living here, I began to start to slow my mind down and take things apart and look with more objectivity, more curiosity into the kinds of things I assumed about the world and the kinds of things I'd been told. And it's clear to me, of course, we see Tavistock's hand in everything from the FBI to the NYPD to think tanks to Aspen to Stanford Research Institute to CIA to CNN to the university system. It's everywhere. And it, to some extent, is operating to strengthen the power of what many people call the matrix. And breaking out of that is an exciting thing to do. It's fun. And every day I learn a little something about how I've been manipulated and how it was done and why it's done and how long it's been going on. It's not recent. You can go back to the Venetians and the epistemological warfare used to divide and conquer, specifically with creating the Protestant Reformation and then promoting the Jesuits and the Counter-Reformation, the same people working on both sides to create this deadly vice that destroyed 40 to 50% of the population just on the basis of mind control, really. So then this gets, gradually modernized, and then these tactics become more sort of technotronic, sanitized, but still, look at what's happened in the world, and still so much brutality, so much bloodshed, and we stand back and we wonder how the hell it happened. So anyway, sorry this was late. I'm going get more into Tavistock, and I've got some things on. I'd like to get into Mexico a little bit, and look more into the death cults there, and see if I can link it up to the Nazi International. So anyway, take care. Thanks, everybody.